Welcome back, my students. I'm Ellie at EnglishFunZone.com, and today we're going to be correcting some more sentences. So let's get started. Last week, I asked you to take a look at this sentence. Were you able to correct it? The Maya established a very advanced civilization in the jungles of the Yucatan. However, their culture, by the time Europeans first arrived in the New World. That's right. I went where the answer should be. Let's find out if you were able to correct this sentence. As you can see, I've highlighted the actions. There are 3 verbs here. Mayans established, culture disappeared, Europeans arrived. So we have established, disappeared, and arrived. First, let's take away that semicolon and put in a full stop or a period, as we say in North America. That way, it becomes 2 complete sentences. And maybe it's easier to decide what the answer is. Let's visualize these 3 actions. Ooh, that's a good word, visualize. Do you know what it means? It means to have a mental image, but I'm going to help you with that mental image. The Maya established a very advanced civilization. Their culture disappeared. The Europeans arrived. Excellent! Do you have the answer now? Okay, here's a hint. You have to focus on the second sentence. We have to use the past perfect tense. Okay, don't let those words scare you. We have to use the past perfect tense. Oh, don't worry about those 3 words. Think of it this way. A perfect tense uses has, have, or had. So anytime you see has, have, or had, and a verb or an action, you're going to know that that's the perfect tense. Okay? Now, has and have are present tense, right? She has, he has, it has, I have, you have, we have. Present. Now, to make it perfect, you add the verb or the action. And had is our past. Perfect. So, are we going to use past or present? I hope you said past, because that's right. So, when do we use the past perfect tense? Well, the past perfect is used when 2 events happened in the past with one past action having occurred even before the other past action. Okay, don't let that confuse you. Let's look at it step by step. Virtually is an adverb, and we know that because, well, most adverbs end in ly, and it's modifying the verb or the action. This adverb, virtually, means almost, not completely, but almost. The adverb comes before the action. Virtually disappeared, almost disappeared. So you can use that adverb before the action, because remember, you're changing it, you're modifying it. Almost, virtually disappeared. Now we have to use had because this action happened before the Europeans arrived. So the answer is, the Maya established a very advanced civilization in the jungles of the Yucatan. However, their culture had virtually disappeared by the time Europeans first arrived in the New World. Now let's break it down. We'll start with the who, the Maya. What did they do? Established a very advanced civilization. Where? In the jungles of the Yucatan. However, what? Their culture had virtually disappeared. When? By the time Europeans first arrived. Where? In the New World. Now in this sentence, we can't use the simple past. Rained. We can't use that. Why? Listen. Do you hear that? It's still raining. So we cannot use simple past because the action is still happening. So if the action has started in the past and it's still happening, and it's been happening for some time, we must use the present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous, also called the present perfect progressive. Oh my, why? Why did someone decide, well, let's say progressive? Continuous and progressive are the same thing, not two different things. So if your teacher is saying progressive, I want you to remember it's continuous. It means the same thing. Please don't get confused. And all that word means is adding, ing, to the action. So progressive or continuous, you're just going to add ing. Same thing. Is it still raining? Yes, it is. So we must use this present perfect continuous. But remember, don't worry about continuous or progressive. That doesn't matter. Just remember that those words mean to add ing or ing to the end of the action, the verb. You have to be careful because you must also add been or been. Americans pronounce it ben, but in British English they say been. Some students will say been. I have been. I have been. So if you want to say been, that's fine. If you want to say been, that's okay too. Has been plus the action, the verb, and ing. Okay, so the answer is, it has been raining all week. I hope it stops by Saturday because I want to go to the beach. Let's break it down. It has been doing what? Raining. How long? All week. I hope. What? It stops. When? By Saturday. Why? Because I want to do what? Go to where? The beach. Now let's look at this next sentence. It's correct, but the spelling is incorrect. How do you spell shining? If you said only one N, you're correct. Shining. S-H-I-N-I-N-G. In this sentence, we're using the future continuous, right? We're saying will be shining. Now here we're saying be and not been. Will be, because it's the future continuous tense. I hope it will be shining tomorrow. The sun will be shining tomorrow. When you say will be, the verb or the action be ing. So we could say, we will be eating pizza tonight. We will be going to the mall soon. Let's look at this next one. I have not traveled yet. However, the Grand Canyon and San Francisco by the time I leave the United States. We can't use the simple past tense because the action hasn't happened yet. And we know this because it says by the time, which means it hasn't happened. So what do we know? Well, we know that this person isn't from the States, from the US, because they're talking about visiting these places, right? They will visit the Grand Canyon and San Francisco. They haven't done it yet, but that's the plan. And that's why we need to use the future perfect tense. But why? Why do we need to use the future perfect tense? Well, the future perfect tense actions have not yet occurred, but will occur and be finished in the future. So what does that mean? Well, the future is will, the perfect is have, and your action that will be finished is visited. And what places again? The Grand Canyon and San Francisco. So the answer is, I have not traveled yet. However, I will have visited the Grand Canyon and San Francisco by the time I leave the United States. Let's break down that sentence. I have not, what? Traveled yet. However, I will, what? Have visited, where? The Grand Canyon and San Francisco. When? By the time I leave. Where? The United States. Okay, my students, that's it for today. Here's what's coming up next week. You can pause this video to take a closer look. These are the sentences we'll be looking at. I believe the series Blends, Digraphs, Trigraphs, and more has come to an end. But if there are other sounds or other things we need to practice, we can come back to it. The new series is going to be called Check Your Grammar. And these past two videos are examples of what's to come. But I need your help. If you have any sentences or questions about grammar, you can email them to me or post them in the comments section below, or visit me on my Facebook page at English Fun Zone. Ask Ellie at English Fun Zone, or my website, englishfunzone.com. The other thing keeping me busy is my other YouTube channel, English Fun Zone for Kids. I'm starting a series of videos with conversational English, and it's meant for basic to low intermediate students learning English. If you follow me on Facebook or you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you'll get notified when that series is posted. Okay, the other thing keeping me busy is Peter Pan. I'm still working on the audiobook for Peter Pan. It's 17 chapters, and I'm still connecting the different narrators to the different chapters. And I think you'll like this audiobook because most of the narrators are from the United States. There are a couple that are not, but most of them are. And finally, the other thing that's been keeping me busy, my book. It's finally out on Amazon. This is my first children's book, and a quick shout out to Brianna Baroche. She's the one that has done all of the artwork, and I think she did a great job on the cover. And there are other pictures inside as well. I'll leave her website, her link is in the description box below if you want to check out her artwork. She's fabulous. And I hope you'll come back next week because we're going to be correcting those sentences. Go back, pause the video, see if you can correct those before next week, okay? I'm Ellie at EnglishFunZone.com. Remember, send your sentences that you'd like corrected to Ask Ellie at EnglishFunZone.com. And I hope you'll be here again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.